Thank you. This is Professor Kim Nam-jin from Yonsei University. It is a great honor for me to have this great opportunity to make a speech. Today, I'd like to talk about COVID-19 pandemic and medical tourism in Seoul. I'd like to deal with these three topics: medical tourism trends in Seoul for last 10 years. And the second topic is COVID-19 challenges for medical tourism market. The third topic would be what action needs to be taken. Okay, first let me talk about the medical tourism trend in Seoul from year 2009 to 2019. As you can see from this chart, in year 2009, we had around 37,000 medical tourists in Seoul. This number has increased to over 320,000 last year. So for last 10 years, there was a steep increase in the number of medical tourists in Seoul. This table shows the ranking of top 5 destinations for last 10 years. As you can see from this table, Seoul has taken the first position for last 10 years. The percentage of medical tourists who visited Seoul was around 60%. This table shows the ranking of nationality of medical tourists in Seoul. US has ranked number 1 for 3 years, since the year 2009. However, in the year 2012, China became number 1. And US has taken the second position, and it lasted for many years. However, in the year 2018, Japan has ranked 2nd. So we have seen these changes for last 10 years. This table shows the mostly preferred services in Seoul. As you can see from this table, the popular services were cosmetic surgery, dermatology, internal medicine, health checkup, and oriental medicine. Now, let me talk about the COVID-19 challenges for medical tourism market. This table shows the COVID-19 situations of major target countries. This table shows top 8 countries. The China ranked number 1, followed by Japan, US, Russia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Thailand, and Canada. Why don't you look at the yellow-colored rows in this table? From here, Mongolia and Thailand, these 2 countries showed relatively lower number of COVID-19 cases. They also showed relatively lower COVID-19 related deaths. These days, many experts are talking about making travel bubble. From my opinion, if we open our border to other countries, probably Mongolia, Thailand, and Vietnam may be first target countries for us. We may try to make a travel bubble with these countries. Maybe the next would be China and Japan, and then probably Russia and US might be the last. This table shows the preferred services by the nationality. Why don't we look at these 3 countries, Mongolia, Vietnam, Thailand. These countries were quite effective in controlling the COVID-19. So as I mentioned, if we open the border, I think we may first try to open the border with these countries. So why don't we look at the preferred services by the patient from these 3 countries? The patient from Thailand, they prefer cosmetic surgery, dermatology. How about the Vietnam patients? They also prefer health checkup, internal medicine. So, this table shows the market share of countries of first travel bubble. If we make the first travel bubble with Thailand, Vietnam, and Mongolia? I think in the case of cosmetic surgery market, we'll gain 13% of last year's volume if we open the border to these three countries. In the case of dermatology, we may gain 3% of last year's volume. In the case of internal medicine, maybe 8% around. Health checkup, probably around 7%. In the case of OBGYN, maybe around 9%. So if we first try the travel bubble, we may see the rebound in these areas. So we need to make a plan for gradual lockdown easing. Now, this is the most important topic I want to address today. What action needs to be taken? Some hospitals, some local governments, they don't do anything right now because the patients are not coming. But I think this is the most critical moment for us. We need to prepare for the post-COVID medical tourism market. First, let me talk about the critical reviews of past achievement. I think this is the time for evaluation and reflection. We have been overwhelmed by quantitative performance indicators. We have pursued the number of medical tourists. Whenever we have a meeting, we always talk about how many patients we had, how much we earned. We always talk about number of medical tourists or annual earnings. So we have pursued relentlessly for increasing the number of medical tourists since this was the gold standard for evaluating the achievement of a government-driven project. So because we pursued the quantitative aspect, sometimes we missed the qualitative aspect of our performance. So I think this is a very important time for critical reviews. We need to look at our success factors. We also look at the mistakes. We need to critically review ourselves. I think this is a valuable moment to reflect on what might be good going forward. The next one is service innovation. We should do our best to improve our service, to develop new services. First, we need to develop protocols for the new normal. We need to improve the organizational preparedness. We need to improve the capability to screen patients for COVID-19 symptoms. We need to make a guideline of a safe experience for medical tourists. We may need to make a sophisticated plan of how to provide seamless and safe services for the medical tourist. We also need to adopt touchless interface technology. Yes, South Korea is quite well ahead in IT technology. So this is the time for us to use our advanced IT technology to improve the customer's experience. We need to develop digital service delivery. As Keith mentioned, telemedicine will become a very, very important tool for any providers. Look at these examples. Bomlungrad Hospital, Raffles Hospital, Apollo Hospitals. In other countries, they've already made the online platform to provide information to their customers. But unfortunately, in South Korea, most of the hospitals, they fail to prepare for these services. So we need to think more about how to improve our digital service. We need to try to improve the virtual experience of our customers. We need to develop digital value-added services like advice and education. We need to try to provide useful information on the clinical management of COVID-19. The first topic is developing the infrastructure for product development. We need to think about product portfolio. Our main concern was just medical services, but this is the time for us to think about wellness services, how to supplement the medical services with wellness services. By combining these three, we should try to create unique and attractive products. This table shows an example. Okay, we've already developed medical services, but we also need to develop wellness services, skincare, meditation, spa, massage, healing food, nature, and forest. We have a lot of resources, services, but we fail to identify these services as a so-called wellness services. So we should identify these services and then try to make a hybrid product, which would be attractive for the foreign customers. We also should think about these new products in the era of COVID-19. Immunity, strengthening immunity becomes a big issue. Boosting immunity, stress management, COVID-19 recovery program might be a good product. The final one is branding and marketing. As Keith mentioned, this is a very important moment for us to develop our destination brand. Actually, we failed to develop our destination brand so far. So this is the time for us to develop destination brand. The national brand has improved thanks to our effective controlling of COVID-19. So by using our improved national brand, we should try to strengthen our reputation of South Korea as a medical wellness tourism destination. We need to use diverse channels because we cannot meet in person these days. So we should actively search for the other options, online channels. We should try to develop messages. We should try to share our information. We should send a strong message. We care for them. We should develop practical tips for COVID-19 prevention for helping the foreign patients. We also should develop protocols and regulations to fight against COVID-19. We also should identify best practices to assure our future customers. We should try to share our experiences with the patients in other countries. We should send a strong message that we care for them. We should try to stay connected with them. Thank you for listening.